Hey guys, Nubkeks here, and welcome to a Here's the Storm Key Skills discussion video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at what I think is maybe one of the most important, if not the most important ways of looking at the game and thinking about the game in terms of how you play. And I think it's also something that I've almost never seen talked about in other guides or videos. So basically, I started thinking about this because of I was playing with Kitchen the other day. I had a really funny little gameplay clip, which I was just laughing my ass off afterwards. So I tell you what, guys, we'll take a look at this clip. It's kind of funny. And then afterwards, we're going to break it down and start talking about what's happening in this and why does it actually matter. All right, check it out.
Ready yourselves, we must clean them first! Your enemies fall before you.
Alright guys, well there's the clip. Kind of ridiculous, I know, but there's a bunch of things going on here. So one thing I do want to mention before I get on to the big skill I want to talk about is, and it's worth mentioning as well that when we look at this big skill, that I make one big mistake in terms of it, but then also do maybe a couple of things right. But you'll see that my teammates have really good map awareness, okay? And this is another massive skill in the game. But again, I think this one is pretty well known. You know, a lot of people know about that and how often you should be looking at the map and looking at the mini-map. And I've talked about it during my ranked videos before as well. But I mean, just look at the game. I can't remember if myself and Clicker were on voice chat. I don't think we were because, again, we are typing in chat. I'm not sure. But just watch how quickly he moves from mid lane to that top lane when I start fighting the Dahaka. And then you'll see like our Uther and our Tannis, they died, but as soon as they come back, they're coming straight back up to top lane and they're pinging it as well. So even though they're not there, they all know kind of what's happening or they cop onto it pretty quickly. So that shows you a good level of map awareness. So that's another skill that's important. I just wanted to point that out and you'll notice it when we watch the clip back. Okay, but what is the main skill, the main way of looking at the game that I want to talk about in this video? Well, I think it's a bit like chess, actually. I mean, if you look at chess, right, on the face of it, it's very simple. And I think you could be a fairly decent chess player if you just kind of knew some of the basic strategies and you knew how all the pieces worked and how to kind of end the game. And you just focused on your play. I mean, you could probably be fairly okay. But what about people who are actually really good at chess? What about grandmasters? Like, what sets them apart from the other players? Well, I assume for a chess grandmaster, they're thinking, you know, a whole bunch of moves ahead in the game. But also, really importantly, to get good at chess, and this is something you do, and the same in Here's the Storm, probably without realizing it, but you spend an awful lot of time thinking about what the enemy is going to do, putting yourself in the enemy's shoes, yeah? So when you're playing chess, you're not just thinking about your strategy. You're thinking, well, what is the enemy going to do? How are they going to move their pieces? What is their plan? I don't know. I assume grandmasters, maybe they spend 80%, 90% of their time thinking about what the enemy is going to do and responding to it. Well, it should be the same thing in Heroes of the Storm. You need to be thinking all the time about what the enemy team wants to do, what the enemy heroes want to do, what they're looking to do. Just in general, just in terms of when you can't even see them on the map. Well, what are they going to do? You know, looking at the minion waves, the way they're pushing. You know, looking at the merc camps, the objective timers, all that sort of stuff. What are they going to do? When you're in a team fight, what are they going to do? Part of what prompted this post, this video, was that I saw a post on Reddit, and one of the guys was talking about teamfight positioning, and he's saying, well, how do I position in a team fight? And he said, honestly, when it comes to a team fight, I stopped thinking about positioning at all. And at the time I said, wow, I don't really have anything to say to that guy, but that's a good question. But I was kind of thinking about it, and I realized, well, you know, a lot of what you do in a team fight, well, sure, I mean, if you're squishy, you're going to stand back and stuff. That's okay. It's the same as playing chess and having a strategy. But a huge part of what you do is thinking about what the enemy is trying to do, and then if you avoid that, if you kind of get in the way of that, you prevent that, then that's what makes you good positioning. So for example, you saw in this video, and we're going to watch it back again, but what we saw in this video was Dahaka gets on top of me, So I make a mistake here, right? Okay, I make a mistake. I get a little bit greedy attacking the Lost Vikings. I'm not thinking about how quickly Dahaka can get back to lane. As you see, I only miss it by about half a second. I'm just about half a second too slow getting away from him, and I get stuck in this bad position. Part of what threw me off, I'm not sure if he like tapped a well or Malfurion dropped some heals on him, or if he popped his trade or something, but he gets back to the lane really damn quick. He had some sort of healing over time effects on himself, so he got back just that little bit quicker than I was expecting to. And that's why I get kind of caught out. And I was watching it back as well, and it's really close to being caught out. I was also assuming when I was playing the game, I hadn't paid attention to it, because we're just kind of playing casually, but he didn't take the movement speed at level 1, whereas I was assuming he would take movement speed at level 1 and then the symbiosis at level 7. So I was kind of playing around the assumption that he had those. Turns out he didn't actually have the movement speed at level 1, so potentially I could have run away maybe at the start, but I was kind of obviously Dahaka, right? He wants to land a drag. He wants to get you with as much of his W, which does a ton of damage, as possible. Also, he did, I think, take Symbiosis at level 7, which is kind of the main one that people take, which reduces the cooldown of its W the more he hits you. So you really, really don't want to get hit by his W. So going up against this Dahaka, basically what I'm saying is, all right, Dahaka's here. I can't get away from him, because if I try to run away, he's going to hit a drag. So I have to try to dodge him somehow. Now, Dahaka, he's going to want to land a drag. He's going to want to hit me with his W. So basically, all I'm doing in this clip, is trying to avoid the two of those. If he uses W, I need to run away from him. But then also, very importantly, I need to avoid the drag. So I need to keep a minion between me at all times. And when you watch it back, that's what all I'm doing is I'm running. I'm just trying to constantly keep minions between myself and him. I'm trying to be unpredictable. I'm just trying to make it really, really hard for him to land his drag. Really hard for him to land his W. And I just end up wasting so much of his time that actually my teammates get to respawn and run all the way back up to lane. My teammates get to run from mid lane all the way up to top, and we actually get the kill on him because it takes him so long to kill me because I'm dodging around his things. And the reason I'm playing like this is because I've thought about, well, I'm constantly thinking going through it, well, where is he going to go next? Okay, well, he's going to go here. Right, I got this minion between me and him. Okay, let's move back here. And then he's going to move that. And there's like, I don't know, hundreds of tiny little decisions that go into this little gameplay clip, just trying to dodge him out and trying to avoid his stuff as much as possible. So that's what's going on there. But it's just the idea, right, of getting into your enemy's head and trying to predict what they're going to do. So let's take another look at that and just watch out for that. So what is Dahaka trying to do here? Well, he's trying to land his drag, he's trying to land his W, and let's just watch. And also bear in mind, just how quickly my teammates respond, how good their map awareness is. But watch, bearing in mind, what is Dahaka trying to do? What's his plan here? And then watch how I play around that.
Ready yourselves, we must claim them first. Your enemies fall before you.
Well, there you go, guys. As you can see, I just dodging around him all the time. He's trying to get his drag on me, and I'm just not letting him get in a position to get his drag. The point is not so much as the juking, but really the thought process that goes behind it. So again, get in your enemy's head, and this works not just for something like this where you kind of caught out and you want to juke. You want to make things difficult for them. I got another gameplay clip that I'll end this video by showing you as well, which also illustrates this. But yeah, just in general, just in bigger team fights, what are the enemies planning to do? Okay, well, let's keep an eye on the ETC. Okay, well, ETC, well, he's gonna have his his power slide cooldown up soon. You might have a specific idea or a vague idea. He's got mosh pit ready. All right, well, he's kind of looking at our heroes. I see they're a bit clumped up over here. I know he's gonna try and maybe mosh pit over there. Well, I'm gonna move this way. All right, well, they're Grey Main. He's looking to jump on this hero. Well, okay, I can kind of go in a bit aggressively, and this affects everything. This affects everything if you're thinking about what the enemy's planning to do, because suddenly then in team fights, certain areas become safe to go to. You can take these big things that might be big risks, that might be a bad position, but that, well, hey, their damage dealers are focused on this low health support hero that we've got near the front line. Well, suddenly I can run the health forwards as a squishy ranged hero because I know they're not going to focus me because they're focused on this guy. If they turn around and attack me, that's actually good because that might help him get away and stuff like that. it's playing around these rules, you know. For positioning, you can't just come up with these simple rules for where you should stand and where you shouldn't. It's all about getting in the enemy's head and playing around what they're going to do. And then same as I mentioned already with map positioning, you know, where are they going to go? If you're not thinking like this, if you're not in the enemy's head, if you're not, you know, understanding what they're trying to do, what they want to do, what they're aiming for, you're going to make a whole load of mistakes. So for example, at the start of that clip, I made a bit of a mistake because I didn't fully get in the head of Dehaka. I didn't expect him to be back so soon. He almost got a really good gank off me. He almost killed me, yeah? But I mean, if you're just running around, you go, oh my gosh, well, look at this. Hey, fancy that. There's 4 enemies in this brush. Oh, what a disaster. Let's run down to this merc camp. Oh, they're all here already. Oh no, I got killed. What a surprise. If you're constantly surprised by where your enemy is or what the enemy team is doing, if you're never predicting it, if you're never thinking in their head, that's really, really holding back your gameplay. That's really holding back how good you can be at the game. I've got another clip to end off this video, and this is me playing Nazebo. This is from one of our ranked games. I think it was maybe the third, like, proper Hero League game after placement. But yeah, it's on Towers of Doom. What's happened is I've just got a kill on the Rainer with my Ravenous Spirit. And again, not fully, same sort of mistake has just happened in the previous clip, right? So it's interesting for me to learn. I basically kill Rainer with the Ravenous Spirit. Then I decide to get a little bit more value off the Ravenous Spirit, just hitting structures. And suddenly a wild Jaina appears. And I go, oh crap. Well, I'm Nazebo. I'm stuck like right outside the enemy's gate. And Jaina has just appeared within range of me. So I'm in a lot of trouble. Basically, let me explain what happens before the clip so we can go into it. And you can kind of understand and analyze it as you go through, yeah? So I go into it. Jaina's there. I say, all right, well, what does Jaina want to do to kill me? Jaina can kill me. Okay, but what does she want to do? What does she need to do in order to kill me? Well, she's going to hit me with the Cone of Cold. Nothing I can do about that. With the Blizzard, I can dodge the second wave of the Blizzard. There's not much I can do about the first wave, but if I move as unpredictably as possible, it's going to make it difficult for her to hit the first wave. But, you know, with the Blizzard, it's kind of, the first wave is up to Jaina, the second wave is up to me. She can hit the first wave if she's good. If she misses it, well, that's her fault. That's great. I'm going to make it difficult for her, but ultimately, you know, it's going to depend on how good she is, whether she can hit that or not. If she's, you know, decent, she will. If she's bad, she might miss it, maybe. But certainly dodging the second wave is something that's very important for me to do. And then Frostbolts. So Frostbolts, she's going to need to land those Frostbolts to kill me, to keep me slowed, and to get that damage. So that's kind of what I'm going to play around. I'm going to be kind of dodging around as much as possible. I try to get like a zombie wall to make it just awkward for her to land a Frostbolt. I'm going to try to get stuff between me and her to land the Frostbolt. And you're going to see me, I'm just going to be dodging around. I'm not just going to run away in a straight line, because then she's going to hit me with her skill shots. I'm going to be slowed and I'm going to die. What I'm going to do instead is just try to dodge around and just make it really difficult for her to predict what I'm going to do. Make it difficult for her to get into my head. She's going to go, God, I don't know which way this guy's going to go. And if I can make her miss some of her Frostbolts, well, then the slow's going to wear off. Then I can run, makes it more difficult for her to land another Frostbolt. And that's also going to be reduced damage, because she won't get her trait, improving the damage. And then maybe I can get out of a nasty situation alive. And what you're going to see is Brightwing is going to teleport in on Jaina, at which point I'm going to go, oh shit, I'm probably dead. I'm going to try to avoid, obviously, the Brightwing Solar Flare, or whatever it's called, Lunar Flare, maybe? I'm going to try to avoid the Brightwing Q anyway. Definitely avoid the middle of it as much as possible. Might get caught by the edge of it. Depends, again, on the Brightwing skill, but definitely don't stand in the middle of that. And just keep dodging, keep making it difficult for Jaina. And then you're going to see, again, once more good team awareness, good map awareness. My team will rotate down and I'll actually get out of it alive. So check out that clip. And yeah, this has been the video. One of the most important things, which I don't think is talked about anywhere near enough, is it's getting in your enemy's head and spending, I'd say, at least half of your time in the game. Yeah, sure, think about what you want to do, what your team is doing, but spend the other half thinking about what the enemy team is going to do. And during your team fights, during your skirmishes, during your laning phase, all the time, be thinking about what does the enemy want to do? What is their plan? What are they looking for? What is their win condition in this fight? And if you're thinking like that, if you're thinking like the chess grandmaster, the more you can be like a chess grandmaster, the better you're going to be at the game. Alright guys, check out this clip with Nazebo. See you all next time. Bye bye. Happy with that. Rainer's very low on life. I'm going to drop the Ravenous Spirit on him as well, and he is going to fall. So happy days. I believe there is quite a cool little engagement going to happen here. I'm being a bit greedy. So Jaina comes in. I'm in a little bit of trouble. I'm very low on life. I'm in a bad spot here. if I get hit by a frostbolt, I am dead, basically. Brightwing comes in as well. I'm just juking around. Just dodge that frostbolt. Dodge the frostbolt. That's pretty good. Hit by the Coat of Cold, but it's not doing double damage anymore because her thing is expired. And my teammates arrive. They don't quite turn around for a kill, but I was quite happy with that little play. That was probably a dead Nazebo right there. That was probably a dead Nazebo, but we were able to juke. Our teammates responded very appropriately, and we were able to escape. Even with Brightwing teleporting in, we managed to escape that Jaina gank.